think about when you think about people trying to do work as art is how does that change the work of leadership? Meaning, who is a leader? How do they define what their job is and what they should be doing? So what changes there?
This is a really key distinction here is between leadership and management. Mm-hmm. Managers try to get their team to do what it did yesterday, but a little faster and a little cheaper. Leaders aren't sure how to do the thing, but they know that if they can share their vision and their emotion with their tribe, with the people who are following them, the thing will get done. But only if the people who are following buy in. So you can be a leader of people, but you can't be a leader of hourly employees who have a manual. You can be a manager of them. Mm-hmm. When we talk about art, it's very easy to imagine Jackson Pollock or that guy who cut off his ear as sort of, lone wolf, alcoholic, psychotic people. But there are plenty of artists in organizations that ordinarily would seem like they're just people doing their job. Mm-hmm. And I think the distinction is that whenever they get a chance, they become human. And whenever they get the chance to connect with someone else, they choose to take that. It's the person who says, that's not my job, or the person who says, I'm not allowed, or the person who pretends to listen but doesn't because it's not in the manual. That person, I would argue, isn't doing art. But if we look at, even as pedestrian an example, Zappos, $1 billion shoe store. Right? Well, what is Tony got that the other shoe stores don't have? He has the same shoes. What he has is a 3-week training program and then paying people to not take the job. So everyone starts the first day totally committed. A zany, truly zany, not zany for the magazines, but truly zany workforce where people aren't rewarded to hang up the phone as fast as they can. Where there's tales and legends and stories of exceptional humanity, because that's what it is, humanity. Now you have a culture that lets you make art.
This might be another way to ask the same question, but I feel like it's so important. So I saw Carmen Medina, who is part of the CIA, and she created Intellipedia, and she stood up, this was in front of a big IBM audience, she stood up and she just said, I am a heretic. And what everyone in this audience is going to think is, I'm the person you want to squash, put away, put into the corner. And what I'm here to tell you is you need to not only find and celebrate your heretics, but create more, because they're the folks who are creating the future. They are actually your friends. They're not fighting against you. How do we make organizations in the world safe for heretics?
Well, I love semantics because I think the words matter a lot. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about the word heretic. There's a big difference between religion and faith, right? Religion are the rules created to maximize the chances that your faith will do what the manager wants you to do. And what a heretic is someone who has faith but could care less about religion. And that distinction is important. So John Patrick, when he was at IBM, helped transform the company, helped invent the internet as we know it today. John was a heretic because IBM was filled with religious rules. All sorts of religious rules about what time the doors shut, how you dressed, what you talked to people about, who you were allowed, how many people could be in the room, all these rules. John suspended all of them. But the faith of what IBM stood for, which is smart people helping other smart people improve their productivity, never wavered. Mm-hmm. And so when he had a choice between one or the other, he suspended religion, and that made him a heretic. Heretics sometimes get fired, but heretics know they have no choice because it's who they are. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do as a manager, and a leader, as an entrepreneur, as an owner, is to say, this is our faith, and only hire people who are willing to embrace it, and suspend the religion anytime it makes sense.